Well, hello there. I'm back again, Dennis Fluer. I'm your host at Tripplanning101, or better known as What to Know Before You Go. Today's lesson, which I believe we're up to lesson 5, has to do with protecting your valuables. Now, believe it or not, when you travel, it's really a good idea, especially with your passport and with any money you have, either their local money or American dollars, you have them someplace other than a wallet or a pocket somewhere. There are known to have been pickpockets in numerous cities, especially the big cities. And so you do have to watch it because they seem to know who the tourists are. I don't know how they can tell. They may be wearing a hat from France and a t-shirt from Turkey, but other than that, I guess it's just, kind of guessing. But whatever you do, you want to make sure those things are safe. In your hotel room, if you leave things in your hotel, they usually provide a safe in the hotel that you can put your stuff in your room there in the safe and protect it that way. Not good to leave it out, not good to leave your suitcase and things like that open, things laying out. Not that we've had a problem. We've been to 15 different countries in the last 7 years. Haven't had an issue yet, but wouldn't want your holiday to be ruined because you weren't careful. So do that when you're in your hotel room. When you're out walking around and traveling, the best thing to do, you can get these, say at Walmart. I noticed they have kind of a travel section. There are places, businesses that do travel type things, equipment. I know we have them locally where we live, but you can get it's kind of a low pouch, about that big, and has this little opening thing in there, perfect to be able to put your passport in there, possibly your visa if you have that, and then you can put whatever cash you need to, your American or your foreign currency in that, and then that will be able to protect it because they usually have a little loop thing around it where you put it around your neck, drop it down your shirt, keep those things under your clothing so that you have easy access to them, but then so that they aren't visible. Same thing with ladies. Always want to drag their purses every place you go. You got to have the purse. And so, if you use the purse, carry it over your shoulder, keep it next to you towards the front of you where you can kind of keep an arm around it. Just a good practice, excuse me, to follow. And that'll keep your valuables safe because nothing can ruin your trip more than losing all your valuables, your passports, possibly camera equipment, things of that sort. So just be careful, just be cautious. Like I said, we've gone to 15 other countries, haven't had a problem yet, but wouldn't want you to go and have a challenge. So be careful with those things. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is airport security and going through customs. Don't take any of this stuff lightly, today especially. That they're on the lookout for anybody that looks suspicious, for anything that looks suspicious. You don't even have to look suspicious to have them pull you aside and stick you in a little room somewhere and keep you there until you miss your flight. I have seen that happen, so really be careful when you're going through both those items, going through security. Make sure you have your ID handy. Anytime you travel internationally, your passport is going to be your identification. They don't want to see your California license plate or New York or any place in between. That they want to see your passport, and especially with your ticket. So those are tied together for your airplane flight. And so you have those handy all the time, so you can pull them out when they want to look at them. Don't make any snide remarks or try to be funny because they don't like funny. They will take you out of line and like I said, you're going to miss your flight. You don't want to do that. So going through both security, just be smart. Make sure you don't have things in your luggage that look like weapons. Don't have large bottles of liquid in there. They have the rules. If you don't know what the rules are, if you haven't been traveling at all on an airplane in years and years, please go to TSA website and look at the rules because they're really spelled out. And if there's anything in there that looks at all like it could be a weapon, you could get delayed and you could miss your flight. Again, when you get to the airport, and I mentioned that on another video, is that 3 hours beforehand sounds like a terribly long time, and it is a terribly long time, but you never know. If it's real busy there, if you get delayed, things of that sort, you need those 3 hours to get your ticket arranged, get through security. If you are elsewhere, you're coming back and you have to go through customs. It takes a while to go through customs. You unload a plane with 550 passengers, and I was actually in an airport here in Atlanta that there was like 1 or 2 agents, and there was like 500 people there, and it takes a couple minutes for each one. By the time you go up there, hand them your passport, and they look it over and verify it on their computer and take a look at you to see if you look something like your picture and that you don't look like you're some kind of terrorist or something. Then they will stamp your passport and give it to you, and you'll be on your way. I mentioned on one of, I think it's on the website, remember to smile and say thank you a lot. That gets you a long way. Don't look like you're a problem. There are some things you can do now. There are programs you can get involved with if you travel quite a bit, where you can bypass a lot of those issues that take a long time. And customs is one of those, and going through security is another one. So look up on the internet of what is available today to be able to do that. You get pre-screened. I think some of them cost you a fee, but if you travel a lot, it'd probably be worth it, so that you don't have to wait in these long, long lines, because they are long lines. It makes Disneyland look like a jump right up to the head of the line and go on the ride thing. So you can spend 2 to 3 hours going through these different requirements, but they're there for your safety. They're there to hopefully make your flight so that it's safe and you get where you want to go and you get home. So don't buck the system. It's just going to cause you grief. On your tickets, they have a lot of ways now. With your cell phone, you can download the ticket on your cell phone. Hopefully your battery's charged up on your cell phone. That's the only thing that concerns me about electronics, is that you forget to do something like that and your ticket's on there, and you go to show it and your battery dies, you're tough out of luck. Chances are you might miss your flight by the time you get back to a ticket counter, get them all your information, and have them print you a ticket. It's not worth it. I think it's really easy. Now they have the kiosks that you go up to. You can slide in your passport, and it'll identify who you are, and it only takes them a couple of minutes to do what you need to on that, and you get your tickets and you're on your way. Make sure that you keep your passport and your tickets somewhere handy, because they're going to ask for them several times as you're going through the process prior to getting onto the plane. And so for your convenience, just remember that, and don't forget where you put them. It's real easy when you're dealing with all this stuff, especially when going through customs. Don't wear things where you have big metal big metal belt buckles and things of that sort, because I try to dress as simply as I possibly can, with as little metal on me as I possibly can, because I have an artificial left knee. And I always have to go through the scan thing where you stand there like this, and they run the thing around and take a picture of you. And they won't take your word for it. They have to do that. And, some places it sets it off, some places it doesn't. But, why have to strip down there in front of everybody and then, go get your luggage, and then you're trying to do with your luggage, and you're trying to get dressed again and put your belt on without your pants falling down and things of that sort. Be smart when you travel. Dress comfortably, dress loose. Don't dress, with a lot of, whiz-bang on you, because it's just going to cause you problems. So other than that, I don't think I have much more to tell you in regards to these two subjects. So remember, protect your valuables. And when you go through security and customs, know what the rules are. when you even think you know what the rules are, we ran into a situation in South Africa where we bought our bottled water after we got to our terminal area, and then they had a bunch of their security people come up and screen us a third time from where we were sitting to the gate, and they took away our water and threw it away. Because there, if you want to take water onto the plane, which you really do, because you don't want to keep calling the fellows or the gals on the plane and saying, can I get a drink or can I get a drink? It's really nice to have that bottled water. And so there, in particular, you have to go to the particular store that's not too far from the gate and buy it there, and then they take it, wrap it all up, put your name on it, then they take it and they hand it to you as you get on the plane. So, yeah, you just have to know what the rules are for particular airports. That's why when we ran into that kind of an issue, but you never know when you go from place to place. So other than that, hey, I just want to encourage you, if you've never traveled internationally, or maybe you went somewhere and you had not a real good time and it was a real problem. And when I say travel internationally, I'm not talking about going down to Mexico to some resort for 7 days, or off to Hawaii and staying at a resort. Hawaii is maybe a little different. You get to go around maybe the different islands and see some neat things, but that's kind of vacationing. What I'm talking about is sightseeing, going out in the world and seeing amazing things in Rome and South Africa on our safari recently, and we've been to Brazil and France and Germany, and just a number of different places. They're outlined on the website. So go to my website. I think you'll like that. If you like these videos, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the video. That helps me out, because I'm just doing this out of the goodness of my heart, and I like to see some response that it's actually doing something good for somebody out there. And when you go to my website, if you have any comments or questions, you can leave them at the YouTube channel, or you can leave it on my email on the website. And again, it's www.tripplanning101.com. There are a number of Trip Planning 101s on YouTube, but there's only one tripplanning101.com, and that belongs to me. And I did it for you so that you can go there and be able to get more detailed information or a reminder. Print the information there. Planning on in the future, I have kind of checklists available for you there, so you can print that off or purchase it for a couple of bucks, whatever it happens to be, and take that with you, and you can go through the checklist and make sure you got everything, because you aren't going to remember everything from this video or possibly even from the website. So I want you to be able to make sure you have all those bases covered so you have a wonderful time when you travel. So other than that, hey, thank you, thumbs up, and we'll see you somewhere around the world. Bye.